to me. I could have tried to gain more life than they have swamps on the board. Sure. On the play, this is fine, though it is obviously very clunky for my white stars to come into play tapped and my second land to be a Boros Garrison. Is it the Mardu deck that's basically like the Mardu deck in Modern, except worse, and in Legacy? Yeah, I've seen it. He claimed it was like the best deck in the format, blah blah blah, all the nonsense that he likes to claim because he top 8'd some random 25-person tournament in somewhere, Minden or something. Yeah, exactly. I've seen it. I'm not sure what changes he made after doing well in that random 20-person tournament, but he was very convinced of the deck for sure. Mountain Go, so it could be the Mirror or Burn. How happy am I with Boros Garrison? Because against Burn I would prefer to like lightning bolt their creature and then untap and have more mana available to me so that I can cast Prismatic Strands. So Ancient and Thraben Inspector Go could be alright. No, probably that plays into their Searing Blaze too much. And I'm still fine killing their creatures on my turn. It's kind of close. Maybe build up to the Prismatic Strands until I have 4 mana and then I play these two in the same turn so that I have access to both sides of the strands. Okay, Blue-Red Delver, I guess. Or the Mirror still. Blue-Red Delver really doesn't want to start with the Mountain. This already looks pretty mulligan worthy. Wait, they mulligan to 6, right? I guess that makes sense that at 6 cards you would keep. Nice one, Goblin Master. Nice one. I guess then I'm just running all the Thraben Inspectors out because I want to resolve them before Spellstutter becomes a concern, and I'm not really forced into bolting anything on my opponent's turn because I have double bolt, so Spellstutter on my bolt is not a problem. It's a little bit mana inefficient with the clue. I could sack the clue instead of playing the second Inspector, but still. Nice one. Wow. Blue-black Pirates. Pirates just taking over. Very nice. Yeah, I did well in my Swiss and then got crushed in the top 8 by Ricochet. Black-red control. Oh yeah, no, what? Protection from white? No, how am I ever going to beat that? No, it has protection from white. That's my creature, my removal, everything. That's just rude. Okay, so this seems to be some kind of brew. I'm not sure which matchup you would want protection from white for. It's not even good against the only mono white deck in the format, which is heroic. Wow, you kinda bought a Tabernacle. I'm not sure how you kinda buy a card instead of buying a card or not buying a card, but congratulations, I guess. Yeah, looks to be some kind of black-red goblin brew. I'm not sure. What's their record? Did MTG bot tell me their record? They're 0-0, okay. Yeah, not sure why you would want protection from white, though they're going deep on the protection from white apparently. Goblin Outlander. Multiple copies in the main deck. It is pretty expensive, that's true. Okay, let's see what this clue has to offer. Oh, I guess let's get this Outlander out of here. They somehow have 6 spells in their hand, so let's see what those are, because they are missing land drops. Played it Geopeat. Did not see that one coming. What is this? Black-red aggro. Also the landfall creature, not as threatening when they're missing land drops. Though Plated Geopeat is pretty cute with bounce lands to trigger every turn. Okay, I guess I run this out. Fetch lands, yeah. I mean, they do have Evolving Wilds in the deck, or Terramorphic. It's kind of the same thing. So I assume they have a high number of fetch lands for sure. I'm not sure how Grizzly Bears with protection from white fits into your landfall aggressive deck, but Plated Geopeat is definitely a scary card. One of the most hard-hitting 2-drops in the format, for sure. And if you do combine it with a fetch land, maybe even some expedition, what is it called? Adventuring gear. That's not the fetch land that you really want with Geopeat though. Because it doesn't trigger the landfall twice, but okay, they do have their land drop now, at the very least. Yeah, I play both. And I usually switch them so that my 5-0 decklist is 20 cards different from what my previous 5-0 decklist owner has played, so switching them back and forth is pretty favorable. Okay, so they do get landfall. I think I'm alright with taking 1 hit for 3. Sure. That is pretty triggering. Though you just want to go like all of that into Scapeshift. That's triggering landfall. Go like Amulet of Bloom, Scapeshift, turn your 4 lands into fetch lands, fetch those. Okay, you trainers addicted me. Resolves. Yeah, exactly. Then you're land falling. Then we're talking. Though here it seems like I'm just taking 3, which I'm willing to do. Probably if they bolt my, yeah, exactly, my Shaman are protected with Strands. It was smart for them to do this post-combat, of course, otherwise I would have prevented this damage as well. Still seems alright to keep it alive, and then it threatens the Geopeat as well as any of their follow-up creatures. I'm just flooded with removal here. Well, flooded with lands and flooded with removal. Very far away from Metalcraft also. Great Furnace, Interesting that they have an artifact land, though I'm a big advocate of having artifact lands in your decks when it is free, like having 1 or 2 because of Wrench Mind and there's no downside. So they might have it for that reason, or maybe they actually do have Kodotha. Well, if they Kodotha me now, I'm super... maybe I should have played around that. They're goblins, or like they have goblins. Yeah, probably it was better to just Galvanic Blast their Geopeat, and now they Kodotha Rebirth, and I look super dumb. What the hell? I mean, I know what that card does, but what the hell? 5 mana Squadron Hawk, basically. I might lose to this. Like, I'm not kidding. This is super difficult for my hand to beat. They get 4 3/3 hasters. And I can only kill one of them at the moment. Wow. Yeah, the red-black plated GOP control deck. Wow, this just crushes me. I need something proactive to do really quickly. Either start chaining artifacts into each other so that I get to Metacraft and then these Galvanic Rests turn into real removal spells. Or, like, I need to become the Monarch or something. Because otherwise these Everexes are going to crush me. That's a huge problem, actually. Man. Yeah, it's not going to close out the game fast, but them having 4 of this is going to be a problem in the long game. Wow. Unreal. Did not expect to lose to Everex today, but you might see it happen here. Okay, that can Galvanic Blast, that's not a concern. Also, they're spending their turn on this instead of developing the Everex, so I do like that. Stone Rain, wow. Okay, their deck is all over the place. Well, still in trouble. But the Stone Rain kinda didn't do anything. I'm still at 5 mana, which my deck can very easily operate on, and they spend a full card on it. Still really need some artifacts. Landfall and land destruction. Yeah, they are synergetic, right? Because they both have land in their name. It is true, I can't journey to nowhere, Goblin Outlander. That is, in fact, a true statement. I can try, but it's never going to work. Old Brain. Well, 3 mana I'm less comfortable working off of. The Goblin Outlander definitely working out worse than an Electricry here in this match, because it got me further away from Metalcraft and destroyed one of my lands, so now I'm kinda mana screwed. I can already answer 2 of the 3 Everexes, so... No, stop! They were on 0 cards in hand. Well, 1 that I know about, but like 0 unknown cards, and then they go land destruction into land destruction. Holy moly. Could just get crushed here. I'm pretty scared for my life. Unreal. Now we have 2 lands, yeah, exactly. He is all over the place. Okay, Evolving Wilds. Finally something I can deal with. I really need my opponent to flood out a little bit. Or maybe they only put 2 or 3 Everexes into their deck instead of the full 4. This reminds me of like a red-black standard deck that had Demigod of Revenge. This is kind of a Demigod of Revenge replacement. Like a 5-drop that you can never out-control. It's way too clunky for Pauper, I think, but it is crushing me here. Okay, almost to Metacraft, so potentially I will be able to 1-for-1 the 3rd Everex. Broke the format, yeah, Ghost Empire. Opponent definitely did break the format and broke my mana base. White Border Stone Rain is true. Just for the rub-ins. Okay, so 1 unknown card, 1 Everex in their hand. The Lightning Bolt deals with the Everex. Ash Barrens. Wow, that's aggressive. They played the Ash Barrens to get the +1/+0. Okay, so now we are basically both at 0 cards in hand. If I don't find an artifact, I have to double Galvanic Blast my opponent's Everex next turn, which puts me to 0 cards, and they have the Everex in hand that is going to trade for these 2, which puts them to 0 cards. And then I get to be the first one to draw an extra card on my next draw step. But my opponent has a lot more resources available, like I can't even cast the white cards in my deck, so my opponent is definitely better set up to top deck here, unless I find Prophetic Prism. Yeah, that was like the dumbest interaction ever. Yeah, and I can draw these cards, so usually I'm very happy going into a top deck war against any deck in the format, basically. But without white sources available, that's no longer true. Because then more than half of my deck is uncastable. Teferi of Zalfir, thank you for your follow. Welcome back. Oh, that puts me further away from Metacraft, but they're unwilling to put their Everex onto the board at the moment. So the 0 cards in hand against 0 cards in hand analogy kind of still holds true. Though finding a white source unlocks my hand pretty nicely. And Prophetic Prism is just the nuttiest nut draw that I can have. It gives me white mana, gives me an artifact, an extra card. It would just be the dream. Wonder if they have Pillage in their deck. Because that could. What the hell is this? Pouncing Kavu. If Pouncing Kavu was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it. So with Kicker, it's a 5 mana 3/3 first strike haste. So it's like an Everex that doesn't search for something else. Wow. I can't really Galvanic Blast this, or I'm still in an awful position. Yeah, we did get a reader. All of the previous cards my opponent played I still knew. Like, this was decent in draft. This one I knew out of its draft format, but this one I have never seen before. I mean, I've seen it in some Chaos draft or something probably, but it's very forgettable. Kavu too good. If I double bolt, I get wrecked by the Everex. I think I'm taking a hit and hoping to find like Prophetic Prism into Artifact Land or something. God damn it. Yes. The second best Kavu. I'll call shenanigans on that. It can't be the second best Kavu. I mean, there's always like, oh, the Mutavolt and Chameleon Colossus, ha ha ha. But even if you ignore those, I don't think it can be the second. What the hell? How is it the second? Okay, I think I'm priced into killing it now, even though my opponent once again decided to not Everex it up. Yo, Flaming Cheetos. Let me fact check that actually. There's no way that's the second best Kavu. That would be embarrassing for the Kavu tribe. There have to be better Kavus. Fire more Kavu. Let me check. Okay, let's not show versions separately. Okay, so this is the one we're talking about. So which of these can beat a Pouncing Kavu? Rogue Kavu. I mean, attacking as a 3/1 is probably already better, but sure. Maybe it's not. It's not more impactful, but... This seems better, familiar. Kavu Predator is definitely better. You can combo with this with like Growth of the Burn Willows, and like there's this Naya card that gives like life to your opponent and then you can distribute damage. That was actually played in like Extended and as like a fringe Modern card. Obviously not good, but like people played it in Modern a little bit. And yeah, Kavu is easily number 1. Fire More Kavu is like a limited version of Flame Tongue. Kavu Climber is definitely better. I don't even know all of these cards. This seems better. Penumbra Kavu. Yeah, it probably doesn't even make the top 5 of Kavus. I would have been very surprised if that was the case. Yeah, as I said, I don't even know all the cards, but let's get back to them. Opponent is still crushing me though. What, they once again didn't cast their Everex? Thought they had it, yeah. What? Post-combat Everex? Sure. The feared post-combat Everex. Thunderscape familiar? No, I said Thunderscape familiar. Raging Kavu. Which one is Raging Kavu? I guess they're alphabetical. Wait, no, they're not. Oh no, they're like by set release or something. Maybe I should sort them by alphabetical. Oh, Flash Haste. Sure, that's also better. Yeah, I agree. There's like at least 5 better Kavus than than the pouncing Kavu. We got killed though. Serrated Arrow seems good against plated Geopede, but it doesn't seem so great against Kavus or Avrexes. So what can I really do here? Not much. Not much. These don't actually seem that great, and then like maybe have a second Serrated Arrows. And maybe one of these or something as a defensive tool, but kinda just need cards that trade with 3/3s, which none of the cards in my sideboard really do. It sounds pretty weird, but like, yeah. I guess this one as well. But yeah, mostly if I'm casting my spells, I should be in a fine spot. If I'm not, then I do remember when we had lands. Probably should have boarded out the Kraken Shaman as well, I'm not sure. Well, this hand is awful against land destruction, but I think I'll have to keep it. It was embarrassing. Well, you can lose to any card if you don't have lands and don't have a second color, but yeah. I predicted that I was going to lose when they cast Everex. That card's unbeatable for me. The hand does scream Molten Rain, but there's nothing I can really do about it. It can't be embarrassing when it's not my fault, right? That doesn't make any sense. Well, hopefully they just play a bunch of Goblin Outlanders, then I should be fine. I wouldn't put it past them to just raise my Boros Garrison here or something, sacrifice their land, destroy my land. That goes well with the all 5 drop finisher curve. You like Lantern Control? I have never played Lantern Control. Oh, I guess I did, but like pre everything, like before it was popular, but only once. I do like Lantern Control as well, though. Okay, maybe that is embarrassing, claiming Cheetos. But that's a little bit my fault for wearing a thong, right? Which I'm not. Just to note that I'm not. Damn, he caught me. No, he killed my inspector. Now I can't bounce anything useful. This is a disaster. Because I wanted to Core Skyfer to the inspector, of course. You'll have to take my word for it. Prehistoric? Wait, what? Prehistoric Lantern, you mean? Man, this Molten Rain is really not going to feel good. Yeah, definitely. That's why I can't stand up. Blade Rain, you caught me. I'm willing to take a hit here by a haste creature so that I can keep the red source in hand, I think. Because my red source is likely going to get destroyed here. Yep. Well, at least we drew a good amount of lands in total. So there's still some hope. But like, I'm not really doing anything proactive. Maybe just starting to bolt my opponent's face. Though I do have enough removal spells to deal with the Everex. This deals with one Everex. No, stop. Stop. Please, opponent, please. Just want to cast my spells. No, there's my Metalcraft enabler finally. Now that my artifact land is gone. Okay. Time to Boros Garrison and pray. Doing this to not discard to hand size, because it feels better than discarding any of the cards that I do have to hand size. Does feel bad, man. Third, yeah, Stone Rain. Oh, Pillage. Oh, they just have 12 Stone Rains in the deck. Sure. This is not, it might actually not be a good matchup. I mean, all of their creatures are embarrassing. All 16 or something of them, they're all embarrassing and incredibly bad, but like Pillage, Stone Rain, Molten Rain is actually pretty decent against my deck. Yeah, they're 12 Rain. I guess Galvanic Blast this, so that I get to keep my board for Everexes or Pouncing Kavus. Okay, let's attempt this again. They didn't blow up my land last turn, so there's some hope. And I mean, it didn't even end up being worse for me that these are bounce lands in comparison to just a normal tapped land, because I will end up running out of lands eventually, so like sure this sets me back a little bit, but as long as I'm making all of my land drops, and yeah, I don't know. If these were just Wind's card crack, I was going to be in a similarly bad position. No, I have not seen any black cards beside Goblin Outlander, but I think Goblin Outlander is enough of a reason to splash black, right? Why would you splash black for anything else? Probably they have black land destruction spells, though, to be honest. They have like Rancid Earth and Rain of Tears or whatever it's called. Oh, Chainer's Edict. Oh yeah, they did cast one Chainer's Edict. Sure. Okay, I apologize. There's Chainer's Edict that I forgot about. Okay, I think I'll put a creature onto the board finally. Though I'm discarding to hand size again then. Go to 7. No, I'm not. No, I am 8, 7, 7. Yeah, okay, so that works. Sure. I'm not developing my tapped land that way, but they probably have like 5 drops stuck in their hand, and they're waiting for their 5th land. Mono 2 for once? No, it's mono 1 for once, right? Well, except for the Everex. But who's ever beating Everex? We just have to hope they never get to 5 mana, otherwise we can't win. Gobhobbler Rats, yeah, that would be sick. Not beating a Gobhobbler Rats either. You can regenerate that, right? Like regenerate when you're Hellbent or something? That seems way too scary. Self-assembler, yeah. Self-assembler seems better than Pouncing Kavu, for sure. If that's Everex and Self-assembler, I'm never beating them. That's way too many creatures to remove. Echoing Rune, my artifact land. No. No, why? Well, the good news is I just keep making my land drops, and this is the first time all day that I've been happy to be flooded. Like, it's turn 9 and I've made all my land drops. Yeah, exactly. I remember that card from draft as well. Oh! They blew up all the great furnaces. All of them, including their own. Worst echoing rune in the history of Magic. Wow. I didn't even notice that until now. Like, I was like, why do they not have double red? Where's the land gone? And then, wow. Nice great furnace, bro. Nice great furnace. Super boom bust, yeah. I expected them to run race, actually. But, yeah, wow. That was not good. Yeah, there were definitely better cards than this Echoing Rune in the format. Why do they play Great Furnace? I have no idea. I have not seen a reason to do it yet so far. I mean, it makes sense if your deck is like all basics, and then you can run 1 or 2 artifact lands so that you get free upside out of Wrench Mind when there's no downside to it, because no one is going to board in artifact destruction against you. But you should probably not be doing that free roll when you have Echoing Rune in your own deck. That makes it a little bit worse. No, I did not see any other artifacts, and I also did not see any reasons to have artifacts. When they first played this, I expected them to have Goldothar Rebirth, but they so far haven't shown me any. Okay, this gives me protection from the Everex. Yeah, I feel like I'm winning this one, even though I'm finally starting to miss land drops. I have so much burn in hand already. If I ever get Metacraft, I just win. There we go, that's Metacraft. Or unless they Echoing Rune me in response or something. Oh, it's a sorcery. Sure. The other Echoings are all instants. It's pretty strange that they made this one a sorcery. Needs no reason to run particular cards. That's also true. That is also true. I mean, all these cards are so individually powerful. It makes sense for them to be in the deck, right? That's the second Great Furnace, by the way. Okay, true. No, okay, Pouncing Cabo. That this time I can deal with that. He has Goblin Outlander and Trainer's Edict. Teferi of Self here. Those are enough reasons to run back, right? Frilled Desperate and Rancid Earth. That's a combo. That's pretty sick. Yeah, we should recommend that to our opponent. They might put that into their deck. Let them be the Monarch. At least for a turn. So that they can die as Monarchs. Okay. I guess I want Core Sanctifier. Just for the Great Furnaces, because if I'm keeping them from casting their 5-drops, it's pretty great for me. Though casting Core Sanctifiers is also super difficult, because I need 2 white sources and 4 mana overall. Probably want the Sense Enlistment to go out of my deck. And the Krark-Clan Shaman also seems awful. And maybe some of these Prismatic Strands just to deal with Bolt or something. I mean, it's also way too clunky, but yes, it is. Why that question? I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. When they die, I become the Monarch. No, I would have killed them with Bolt, so that they don't become. Yeah, the last 2 to be exact. I've top 8'd the last 2 weeks, yes. That's only because no one in the challenges played Everex. If they were playing Everex, I couldn't have top 8'd. So it's a good thing that the meta was favorable to me. Wildfire knows what's up. No. I mean, maybe. Aren't we all our own opponents? That's pretty deep, right? Deep and philosophical. Everyone's their own opponent. JSW also knows what's up. If you kill during your turn, you become the Monarch. Oh yeah, because no one else is left in the game. But they conceded, so they got to die the Monarch. Get out of here with your rules, Lorrying, Bladewing. Aren't we all Pascal 3000? Maybe a little bit. Yeah, 16 stone rains and some Abraxes. Exactly. I think I'll keep this, but it's pretty sketchy. Because Artifact Land is already scary against the Echoing Rune. And it's not even the Artifact Land that stone rains our opponent. And I don't have a red source yet, though I'm more interested in white sources than I am in red sources. Don't think I'll be cycling this one against the mono land destruction deck. And I think putting it into play turn 1 is slightly better than casting Inspector turn 1. Because I keep holding on to the artifact land, and also I can potentially play Inspector and bounce it back to my hand in the same turn if I get to 3 mana. So that I play around Bolt a little bit. Well, no, I'm running this out. If they bolted, I'm fine with that, I feel. And then I get to keep open my own bolt for their Goblin Outlander or play the Geopede or whatever. They can kill my clues, that's true. It's pretty devastating. Not much yet, sure. Yeah, Echoing Rune is the answer to clue tokens for sure. So let's see. Maybe they don't stun, maybe. Whoa, they don't have 3 mana. That's great, though I don't have anything to core Sky for sure back to my hand either. So I'm not really taking advantage of the turn that they're not destroying me. Well, I want to look for a tapped land, but the huge downside of that is that I don't keep red mana open, so it's more awkward for me. If I'm tapping my red mana, then they might play a creature and I have to deal with it on my turn. If I play Ancient Den and sack the clue, then I'm keeping the option open to bolt something, but it's much worse with the tapped land. I think I'll just pass the turn and see what they do. Drawing the second artifact land of the same name is actually incredibly risky. Because if I do get 2 for 1 with Echoing Rune, that would be a blowout and just completely lock me out of the game. Though I assume if they have 1 in hand, they're likely just firing off on the Ancient Den right away. The black does seem unnecessary for sure. Yeah, I guess that's true, though many of their land destruction spells really want to target non-basics. Wow, never mind. Yeah, they are cutting me off of red this way, that's true. Maybe that was worth playing around. But I didn't want to run this out because of, like, if I run this into this to preserve my red, I would have gotten Echoing Rune, so that probably is worse for me. Probably run this over developing my board once again for tapped lands. And because making my land drops is kind of more important, because as soon as they run out of land destruction, I'm in a great position. So now I have to decide between the second land that shares a name or preserving my red source. I think I'll keep this open so that they don't just Pouncing Carvo me. I can lightning bolt their hasters. The instant 4-mana land destruction, yes. I don't think a lot of people have a binder that has this much land destruction. Yes, rewarded. Probably even want to Galvanic Blasted, because they didn't really show me many 4 toughness creatures, and I might not have Metalcraft at a later point. Well, now I do. Yes, and then... Well, I guess if they blow up Great Furnaces, it's better for me, because they hit 2 of my lands, but 1 of theirs. Well, maybe not, because it was my only red source. Or like they are together my only red source. But being the Monarch still seems pretty sick. And it blocks their haste creatures, so drawing 2 cards a turn helps me draw out of the land destruction. And they didn't have any cheap haste creatures, so I'm not really afraid of it getting stolen from me. They either have to spend their entire turn on a haste creature, or they kill this and then play something else. Yeah, exactly. And now I can deal with this. I think I want to use my sorcery speed removal. Also, this doesn't work against Outlander, so that's a reason to spend this whenever I get an opportunity to. And keep Bolt open for the Everexes. Roiling Terrain, yeah, there's a lot more land destruction that they could be running, especially once they are in black. There's so many double black land destruction spells for 3 mana. I can think of at least 3, and there's probably more. Pillage, sure. That resolves. But yeah, once I'm the Monarch, drawing more lands than they draw land destruction spells should be pretty doable. Time for Echoing Rune. Oh, more Chainer's Edicts, sure. So it seems like I'm successfully avoiding complete embarrassment by losing to this. Hopefully. Hopefully. I mean, it could still happen if they start running out Everexes, because those outvalue me in the late game. I think I'm willing to run this out, because I do diversify the names of my artifact lands now, and if they blow it up, I still have a reasonable amount of mana to work with, and it costs them a card when they're running out of cards. They could play Angler for sure, but Pouncing Kavu has haste, and Gremmick Angler doesn't have haste, so think about it, Sacred Coconut. Why would you play Angler? If you can, like, Everex is much better against the Monarch than Angler is. Yeah, but then you play like a 5-5 and you pass the turn and you're not attacking. Here they have a 3-3 haste that threatens the Monarch right away. So with Monarch being the most important mechanic in the metagame, you really have to have a high priority on running haste creatures. It's very important that you can constantly... Like, if you're sinking this much mana into a creature, it has to be hasty. That just is very obvious. And also this dodges all the removal spells. Like, I'm never bolting all of these. They have 4 in their deck and they get all of them out of 1 card. How are you ever going to outcontrol that? It's just impossible. Yeah, draw 3 cards, right. It's like a Muldrifter except better. People go crazy over Muldrifter in the format because it's so much card advantage, but Everex is just way better. Everex is like 2 Muldrifters and 1 card. Wildfire, yeah, that's very true. That is very true. I like that as well. Okay, so next Everex I have to stop it with the Alchemist Vial and then Journey to Nowhere in my turn, but the third Everex is going to be pretty threatening. I don't currently have an answer to it yet. Yeah, exactly. It's a mana sink and a Muldrifter. So, like, there's not a lot of good mana sinks in Pauper. So, yeah. And it just one-shots your opponent. It's kind of like an Aatrox and a Muldrifter in the same card. And those are 2 of the most powerful creatures in Pauper. This is definitely genius. I mean, the Goblin Outlander I'm a little bit more skeptical of, but Everex, perfect. Okay, so I guess I'll get this rated arrows down so that I can trade my missionary against their Everex. Or I guess I can double block it with 2 Thrame Inspectors. That seems even better. What is this search thing? Oh, land destruction, yeah. Yeah, race is the one that I expected them to run, but they just raised themselves with Echoing Rune instead. Still have no idea why these artifact lands are here. I guess if I'm giving my Great Furnace hexproof, then they can target their own one, and the destroy all with the same name clause is going to blow up my lands, even though that's not targetable. So it's a very smart way of playing around hexproof giving. My opponent's just on a whole nother level. We are not even capable of like understanding their genius. It's just so advanced that we can't keep up. Jump block or not jump block? Keeping this open as a blocker would have worked out a lot better for me. Yeah, I guess jump blocking is just good. Archie Blizzard Turtle instead of Race. You should tell them about the Everex. The Everex is legit. I should just, like, my deck is red as well. Maybe I should just add some Everex for the mirror. Maybe that's the solution. And these blue-black alchemy decks, they can also not deal with an Everex. So I guess my testing is paying off here. This is also justice. Justice. Well, I guess game 2 was already sufficient justice that they blew up their own land. No, I'm ignoring you on purpose. No. Where did you... it's probably true. No, there's just too much going on. You just shitpost too much, like posting random Scryfall searches or something. Infinite gyros? What? Where? Ulamog the infinite gyros. Oh, I see. That does sound pretty tasty. Times to cycle a land just to disrespect the land destruction deck. Did not expect to do this in the remainder of this match. But I guess that's why you become the Monarch. Could also just time my land destruction opponent out, but... yeah, I'm aware what it is. I just hadn't read the previous pun. I'm not sure if it was a pun or a mistake in writing, but whatever. I hadn't read it before, and now I saw it. I win! We took down the Everex. I was so scared I was gonna lose the match after game 1. Holy shit. I've never been more scared to lose a match of Magic in my life. So glad